Hello, this is Genevieve Fontana coming to you from Canisius University in Buffalo, New York, and you are listening to the Did You Know podcast. You might not know it, but we have eco-heroines around our campus working to make it sustainable for future generations. For each show, I will spotlight earth-friendly initiatives and sit down with the change makers of our institution. Today, we are spotlighting Jahare Hudson, a current senior at Canisius University as a psychology and sociology major with a minor in clinical counseling for adults. On the college campus, Jahare serves as president of the Undergraduate Student Association and is very supportive of the Sustainability Committee. Thank you so much for being part of this project and speaking with me, Jahare.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, of course. Would you be able to introduce yourself and explain a little bit about what you do at Canisius? And
Absolutely.
There's a lot that you do.
Yes. Yes, I am Jahare. I do serve as president twice now. So
Yes.
now I should have everything under control. And I'm a teaching assistant, so a TA for multiple different classes. I am involved in 2 different research labs as well. I'm currently a peer counselor in HEOP.
Oh, cool.
So helping to run their summer program.
So you're here all the time then?
All the time. And then just preparing for grad school.
Yeah.
And then on top of those things, in terms of the president role, which is where I've really been able to tackle sustainability issues. So I sit on the board of trustees, as well as the board of regents, the alumni board.
Cool.
So those are just some of the higher meetings that I have to go to. And then I meet regularly with our vice president of student affairs, and then occasionally with other vice presidents. And I always have a one-on-one with President Stout before and after board of trustees. So.
Yes.
So I do meet very frequently with all the team.
Yes,
there.
so you're a very busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then where are you thinking for grad school? Where are you looking?
So my hope is Howard University,
Oh,
fingers
okay.
crossed.
Cool.
Second choice, Columbia. Third choice is Harvard.
Uh-huh.
So it's crazy because I've been thinking about, like, people are going to think I would place Harvard over, as number 1.
Yeah.
But actually, I want to go with Howard as
that's
number
great.
1. And then UB is my last option.
Got it.
So
you've been working on all that stuff
mm-hmm.
now too.
Personal statements, research statements, all that stuff.
Wow, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about it a little bit, but what does your role entail as president of the Undergraduate Student Association?
Absolutely. So my role as president is mainly to guide USA's vision. So I set the tone for how we're going to be, how we're approaching the year, and then ultimately making sure we have all the resources to guide us
Mm-hmm.
to what that vision is. I sit on, as I said, the board of trustees. So promoting student initiatives and interest all across the board, no matter which room I'm in, and making sure that we're heard and that we get ultimately what we want.
Yeah.
And then compromising too, because we can't unfortunately have everything.
Even though we would like it.
Absolutely. But that's the teamwork, the collaborative aspect of it is having a team behind you as well as building team members in front of you.
Yeah.
To ultimately come to a compromise and agreement that we're all happy with.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Right. And through these interviews, I've realized how important student voices are.
Mm-hmm.
And you are really the representative of all that. So
Mm-hmm.
you're able to accomplish a lot, and it's very impressive.
Thank you. I try.
So how can student government enforce sustainable practices during events on campus?
Absolutely. So our student government, despite what most people may know, actually has a lot of influence in what our clubs can do. So because we provide funding, it would really start, I always say, it starts with the money.
Right.
The money is important. So because we have so much of it and it goes directly to us, which is another thing many people don't know, is that compared to other Jesuit schools, we actually get all of the student activity fee to us.
Oh, okay.
And so with that being said, we control the money and where we spend it. So it begins in our finance board, and I know our new vice president of business and finance, Gabby, she is very integral in this work, and she's already pushing for finance board to consider more sustainable options when providing food or whatever event is going on campus. How can we do better in that area?
Right.
And it starts with, do we give you the money for an event? If we do, then there are some guidelines for where you're going to spend it or how you're going to spend it, because that's important. Ultimately, after that, then it comes down to just individual senators. So one of the things we will be implementing in the fall, actually, and you'll get a sneak peek on this.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is senator projects.
Oh, okay.
So every senator should have one project that they are working on throughout. It could be throughout the semester or the entire year, but at least one. And one of those things that they'll have to do if they want money is we will have a planning committee, a project planning committee. And that committee will be responsible for divvying up the funds we set aside to do those projects. So I've already gotten input. I know some people are looking at building gardens on campus, financing different areas. We may come into a spot with more green space that we can make better.
Right.
So ultimately, in that area, it really goes to the senators in their individual missions.
Well, that's really exciting.
And then the tone that I set for it as well.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But we're already moving in the right direction.
No, I completely agree. And I think how you started with buying the change that you want to see, really, I think that's so important. And checking different groups and checking different student groups and seeing where their purchases are and then suggesting more sustainable ones. I think that's a really great way to start. And supporting local businesses, I think that's really great too.
Let's put our money in the community.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And it gets lost.
I know, yeah.
And I'm like, let's put our money into a community to grow the community we are in, because we're going to be here. Canisius isn't moving anywhere.
Yeah.
So let's build the area.
Yeah, and we play such an important role in the area, and we're so centralized.
Absolutely.
So we should take advantage of that.
Exactly. We're in the heart of Hamlin Park.
Yes,
the heart
definitely.
of the community. So.
Yeah. What role has the student government played in improving sustainability on campus?
So ultimately, in there, and I touched on senators and I touched on our finance board, I think this one would tailor more towards me, how we are going to play a role in improving sustainability. And as I said, in whatever environment I'm in, making sure that every voice is heard. So every time a conversation comes up about sustainability or how can we be more sustainable, it's including the sustainability chair, in those conversations, because I may not be as knowledgeable on it, but I know someone who is.
Sure, yeah.
And so if I can put them in the room and then back whatever they say, because I'm trusting them that they know what they're talking about. So giving them the support that they need to be able to step in those meetings, feel comfortable, and voice whatever they want to voice, that is very important. That's making sure everyone has that voice and are being heard.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what I can do. And then, again, just inviting whoever needs to be in the room where the decision is made, ultimately. Yeah. And that's how we improve it. This is a collaborative effort. So if I don't know anything, or even if I do, and I know someone who knows more, let's come together and stand with me while we're in that room and promoting whatever we need to.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting that you said that, because President Stout says a similar thing, talking about getting the right people in the room and being willing to learn. And that's something you guys have in common, which is really great.
Yes. Although I really didn't think he would say it. But
no, that's what he says. Yeah, he says getting the right people in the room and using people's expertise in different situations. So.
Absolutely. That is very him.
Yeah. So how can we make sustainable practices the norm for the student body of Canisius?
We make it the norm by continuing to educate, by continuing to spread the news of how important it is, by making sure that our sustainability committee is in the forefront of all of these initiatives, and then by being in the forefront, backing them when they're in those positions, supporting them. It's not just the committee's work or whatever senators sit on the committee. It's all of our work. It's not just senators who have to attend their committee events. You should be attending all committee events to not only support your classmates, but also support what we're here for. And that's to be where leaders are made. And leaders start by being in those areas, by supporting other students, by educating where it's important. And so not just putting it on a group of 10 or 15, but all of us doing that work. That's where it really starts. That's where it becomes the norm. Because if you see your classmate doing it and you know they're busy, but they still find time, that should hopefully inspire you.
Yeah, and joining the greater effort. And
exactly.
Not just, it starts here at Canisius, but ultimately they're going to do things bigger and better than this. So
absolutely,
hopefully supporting that effort in their future as well.
Absolutely. And as I had said before, and I want to mention it now, the Laudato Si initiative started with USA.
Right, yeah.
The college signed on to it because USA said sign on to it. And so, we have a role as a group, again, that collaborative effort, that when we all come together, we can get it done. So not only just looking at Canisius, but how can we inspire other colleges, other students at other institutions to do the work that we're doing, that we're pioneering.
And I think that, environmentally and sustainability, those are things that are on students' minds, and that's one thing that they're really concerned about. So showing faculty and administration that that's really what we value.
Absolutely.
That's what they'll put their time and focus in, which is...
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as president of the Undergraduate Student Association, how do you see your role in protecting the environment?
I see my role as not only leading by example, but showing other students how important it is. Right. By even sitting in here and being able to be on a podcast, which I'm so grateful for, but I hope the message gets out.
Yeah, definitely.
That other students who are busy as I am, can still do work in their own way.
Yeah.
My work may look completely different from yours, but our work together, when it comes together, is going to leave a greater impact. So ultimately, my role as president is to set that tone and be someone that people can look at and say, well, he has a million things on his schedule, but he's still going to find time to support sustainability or sustainable initiatives in those environments where it's important. They should be able to be inspired by it, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Definitely. And I think that it's what fits in your lifestyle and the way that you conduct yourself and the way your position has a little bit more pull than others. I think that that's what fits in your lifestyle, but in others, just the simple things.
Exactly. It may look different.
Yeah.
But all of it together, the little things, when they come together, is going to leave a greater impact.
Sure, yeah. I would agree. So we all know that becoming a sustainable individual is a process. What are some things that you hope to implement in your life?
Stop driving everywhere. Oh my God. So I won't even say I love driving. I hate driving.
Yeah.
I think I've passed the honeymoon phase of driving because I've been driving so long.
Sure.
And now I'm tired of it. And I live in Village and I drive to main campus.
Yeah.
When I don't want to walk back and forth. And I'm sometimes I don't have to. I can just walk.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And this summer, actually, outside of today, I don't know if you saw it, I have a plastic water bottle.
Oh.
But outside of today, actually, I'm proud of myself. For the majority of the summer, I've been using water bottles.
Oh, that's great.
And I bought a Brita filter
to
filter my water. And I know that you actually proposed I believe water filters.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, they will be there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited about that because so many people bring, especially freshmen, bring cases of water on campus because it's easy, right?
Right.
And so if there's more accessibility to that, we'll cut down so much more on single-use plastics.
Exactly. And I can't wait because I am tired of walking all the way to a water fountain to just use the filter there.
Yeah.
And I'm if you can just be in the dorms, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But driving, I've been using water bottles more frequently than plastic. And then ultimately, my goal is to recycle more, to look into and educate myself the little things that I may not know are recyclable, and then just seeing if I can implement it there. Because I'm pretty sure I throw out a lot of things that are probably recyclable.
And I think that's doing my part and others' part to educate those on what is recyclable in the area. So with knowledge comes, better decisions.
With knowledge comes the responsibility to do better.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Well, we hope. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, of course.
Right. And then what are some ways that Canisius can help you make these changes or sustainable changes in your life?
Again, promoting the work that you already do in the committee, but also Canisius can do its part by not just putting it all on you guys. Mm-hmm. Canisius can support its committee by increasing the number of students that are there, by pushing for faculty to be in those rooms where it happens.
Right.
They can ultimately make sweeping changes across the board with how we do business. And on a business, like on a higher level, they can ultimately, as we will be doing in the fall, decide who we're partnering with and who can make those changes.
Right.
I know partnering with Chartwell is one of the biggest things that they stress was the sustainable aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And if we can apply that mindset across the board, if we know a certain business or company isn't being ethical in terms of sustainable initiatives, then maybe it's best not to partner with them and put money in their pockets, because it starts with the money.
Yeah.
So being mindful of local businesses around the area that can do the work too and be sustainable while they do it.
Right.
By supporting local business, again, in our community, it is like a domino effect.
Right.
I don't know if domino effect is the right word.
Well, no, I think it's the right word, because if we make it more of an ideal to do that, then other clubs will do the same thing. I mean,
exactly.
I think that sometimes sustainability can be contagious when they know it's an opportunity to do so and they see that it fits in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think more people should know that too.
Yeah.
That you don't have to always uproot your entire lifestyle.
Right.
Do what fits, what can work for you. Mm-hmm. But also require more of yourself. That's why I've been trying to stay away from a lot of people saying do it to the best of your ability. Mm-hmm. If your best of your ability isn't enough, excel at it. Do more than what you can.
Yeah.
And that's also important too.
Right. There's like this one quote that I like. It's like, do your best and advocate for the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can always do a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. And then what is your vision for sustainability on campus?
My goal is for it, and this is a little vague, but to become bigger than what it has been. Mm-hmm. To be more contagious, to use the words you use, with all students. And not just on our committees where like a couple of students outside of USA may join. I want everyone to know what sustainability committee is, mm-hmm. to know the work that it does, and where the work is being done.
Sure.
And ultimately to be able to help with that work. I want sustainability, as well as our other committees, to have a voice of their own, to not necessarily have to rely on USA to be a voice, to be its own weight in what is being talked about, what is being said, what rooms it's going to be. My hope is for the president of USA to not necessarily have to back you guys anymore. They should, but they shouldn't have to, because sustainability should be its own weight too.
It should have its own support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The president of USA should be on the same standing ground in terms of reputation and weight as the sustainability chair, as diversity chair, because you're all doing important work.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah, that's a great answer. And then is there anything that you'd like to add?
I think I said a lot, actually.
You said a lot of great things.
I hope so.
Of course.
Do you have any more questions for me? Anything that you can think of? You see me a lot.
Yeah. I don't think I have any others for you, but I appreciate you being part of my project.
Absolutely.
And for all your support.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here.